Well, this is the time of year when a lot of people start thinking about some of their outdated equipment in their home, such as maybe their water heater or their HVAC equipment. Maybe it's time for an update. Maybe you just need to make your home more efficient. So, what's the best way to do that? Well, we've got the answers today, so stay tuned. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Scan FYI today. So I also do want to thank our sponsor for today's video, and that is Garden Savings Federal Credit Union. Thanks to them for being our sponsor for today's video. But now let me welcome my guest today from New Jersey Natural Gas, the one and only Gary Pavarnik. Hey,
Good
Gary.
morning. Good morning, Andre. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Yes, geez, Gary, we've been doing this for a while. We got to stop meeting like this,
I'm
huh?
telling you.
But that's a good thing in my book. That's a good thing. So yeah, every now and then I think anyone who's living in a home has to kind of take a good hard look at what's going on, kind of like in the guts of their house. And that's how I describe it anyway. And think about we're going to have soon we're going to be in air conditioning season. Hot water heaters are all season. So what do we need to start thinking about?
Well, one of the things we got to start thinking about is, as you mentioned, energy efficiency. That's the overall picture that we're talking about, energy efficiency. So spring's coming up, right? First day of spring was yesterday. It got off to a pretty good start. And we need to start thinking about our equipment. How old is it? How efficient is it? Things like that there when it comes to whether we're going into the heating and we're just coming out of it, hopefully, and going into the cooling season. So how
Right.
can we make our homes more energy efficient?
I feel like this is more important than ever. And maybe I say that every time, but this time, because rates have really gotten sky high, everything is so expensive. And so much for all of us, our money is diverted to just buying butter and eggs and food and necessities of life. So energy efficiency in your home equals saving money. And I feel like anyone who hasn't done everything they can to make their home more efficient, you just do it. Just do it. So let's pay attention to what Gary has to say.
Okay, so first thing we want to do is one of our programs, or our big program, savegreenproject.com. Just a brief history. It's been well over 10 years now in the making. And when I say in the making, because it always evolves. The
Yeah.
program is getting better and better and better since its first inception. So savegreenproject.com is a good way to start with looking at maybe opportunities. Now, within that savegreenproject.com, there's a lot of different programs that can help customers. Basically, you mentioned about cost and expenses. Well, I'll speak about a few of the programs we have, and I'm sure it's going to pretty much get people's interest. First thing, if you as a homeowner go out and replace your equipment on your own, high efficient, you're aware that what the savings are when you go from your standard furnace, water heater, or another heating system type boiler, and you
Right.
go to high efficient, you get some incentives, and those incentives are some very generous rebates, to encourage people. Take that step to that next level of efficiency. It's really going to save you money.
Worth it. So it's totally worth it. Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the great ways to get started, Andreas, is one of the programs we've got of the many is what we call the QHEC and the QHEC Plus. That's a quick home energy checkup. Now, the QHEC, that's a free assessment. Okay. What happens there is we get one of our highly trained energy auditors come to your home by appointment, and they just kind of look to see where the opportunities are there for you. Is your HVAC inefficient? Is it old? You'd be surprised how many people I go to their homes and they tell me, oh, they just replaced it. And I look and I go, it's 15 years old. You know, that's getting up there in age, but you got to start thinking when that time frame hits
Yeah.
15, 20 years, 25 years, when you don't realize it. It works out of sight, out of mind. But, when our auditors come in there, they identify your heating equipment. Your hot water heater is a big thing. Is your insulation level sufficient? Is your ductwork for the forced hot air systems, is that properly sealed? All these things add up to money savings when those things are properly addressed. So,
Gary, can I ask you something just so people have a frame of reference? What is a lifespan of a furnace and of a hot water heater?
well, manufacturers will tell you for a hot water heater, 10 years.
Okay.
I've seen them out there 20 years old. And, you know, I get the point where a homeowner will say, it's working,
Working, but you're on borrowed time, I
don't
guess.
be that homeowner that all of a sudden goes to turn on their hot water and it ain't there. And when they check their equipment, it burst. That's something you don't want to see. So you want to kind of be proactive with your
Okay.
hot water heater, with your HVAC. You definitely want to make sure that, hey, hot water heaters, 10 years, heating equipment, 15 to 20 years. 20 years is probably pushing it. But, it's something that, like I said, people don't think about those things, unfortunately, until sometimes it's too late.
Well, I guess as long as I turn on the heat and the heat comes up, I think everything is fine. But when your equipment is that old, I feel like you're beyond the prime years of efficiency because there's always new technology coming down the pike that makes things more efficient. And efficiency means saving money.
Absolutely. There is a big difference. I
Hmm.
noticed it myself when I went from a standard 80% efficient furnace, which I thought that's all they made. But when the time came and I had to replace my equipment, my HVAC guy pointed out, hey, you know what? If you can get this new state of the art equipment, A, you're going to save money. B, you can get a rebate from the gas company and the state. So there are some incentives there that you got to think, you know what? Don't
Right.
be foolish and go, well, I'm not going to spend that, maybe, I don't know, 500, 600, 700, whatever it may be. There is a difference, I will say that, but it's all different there by different contractors. So I highly encourage customers, when they need to replace their equipment, do a little research on this high energy efficient. It works.
Okay. All right.
It will save you money. So the Q hat, they come out, they do that evaluation. During the evaluation, they'll be more than happy to have you walk along with them so they could point out to you, where there are opportunities, and then basically, you ultimately make the decision. We'll go over the programs we have. During that visit, they could also install some LED light bulbs. They could install energy saving power strips, low flow shower heads. All these things add up to saving money. So, that's a good start right there. The next
That
step,
is a good start. Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
the
Little
next step,
things, little
oh,
things
sorry,
add up. And by the way, the phone number is on the screen for New Jersey Natural Gas. If you want to call for Save Green, get to speak to someone right up there above our heads.
absolutely. That number will put you in direct contact with our highly trained energy consultants, and they could help you decide what program would be best for you. So that's important. I mean, people go to the websites and they're like, oh my God, there's so much stuff going on here, blah, 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 blah. Whosever website it is. And by speaking with a live person, which we all like to do, we don't want to
Yes, we
speak to
do.
we
Yes,
don't
we
want to
do.
speak to robots. So you can speak with our highly trained consultants and they can help you decide what program might be best for you. The next program we have is the QHEC Plus. And right now, it's normally $49 till the end of March. There's a 50% break, so it would be $24.50.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
That's a big savings right there. What that gets you is all the things that you would get with the QHEC. And on top of that, you would get what they call a blower door test, a very critical component of identifying where opportunities are with air leakage in your house. That's one of the things they do once they put together a comprehensive, basically detailed program to say, here's what we recommend you do. Okay, the key words, here's what we recommend. And those are the things that are going to be guaranteed to help you save money. So that's the QHEC Plus. If you are obviously one of the New Jersey natural gas customers and you happen to venture to our website and you go to our marketplace, you can get some very good energy saving items there. But one of the things that seems to be a hot item right now are the smart thermostats.
Yeah, very popular now.
Absolutely. So during the QHEC Plus, if you do purchase one of the smart thermostats, our energy auditors will come in and attempt to install it. Not all smart thermostats are compatible with all equipment. So
Okay.
that's important.
Hence the word attempt.
Attempt, absolutely. We're energy auditors. We're not HVAC guys.
Right. There you go.
But they're pretty good at doing it. They'll do their best. I know that for a fact. So those two programs are a very good start. Once you decide, hey, you know what, I do want to take the next step. What can I do? Well, a couple different programs we have helping customers. Of course, we've got the rebate program that I spoke about, where you use your own money and you get the benefits of getting a rebate. Well, New Jersey Natural Gas Save Green project has a couple different programs. OBRP, and you're wondering, what the heck is that? Right. On bill repayment program. With that, we will finance up to $15,000, and you could also qualify for up to $1,500 in rebates and 0% financing to help you with your equipment install. One of the things, how beautiful is that?
And I guess you just put that right, that's right on your bill then, is what I'm guessing.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Perfect. And, keep in mind, it's got to be qualifying equipment. Yes. That's where our energy consultants will help you identify, hey, this is, they're not going to tell you a specific piece of equipment, but they'll give you some numbers that might sound Greek to you. Hey, you need a 95% efficient. Your hot water heater has to have an energy factor of 0.68, whatever it may be. Air conditioner, 16 SEER. These things are important when it comes to qualifying for our loans. So how much more generous can you get from that? 0% financing and rebates. Prior to this, with our previous programs, you got either or. Now we're giving you both.
Wow.
Is that amazing?
No, that's really fantastic, because, well, I want people to understand that New Jersey Natural Gas wants to make it as easy as possible for qualified buyers to upgrade their system and save money.
Absolutely. It's something that, I've heard it. If I heard it once, I heard it 1,000 times. Why do you want me to use less money? Don't you want me to, or less gas? Don't you want to make more money? No, we're not that kind of a company. We want you to be energy efficient. We want you to conserve, to preserve. The gas company has a lot of different programs, and we're not just natural gas. They are involved with solar, wind farms. So, we do care about the impact on our climate and whatnot.
And the easiest thing for anyone to do is just to call that number 877-455-6564, speak to someone to find out what's the next step. And I guess you have to find out if you're eligible as well, Gary. You have to be qualified for this.
Absolutely. There are qualifications, and they're very generous. There are programs for low to moderate income. You can get rebates. Let's just take one example. For your furnace, okay, you put a high efficient furnace in. You get the 0% financing, goes into your gas bill. Well, you also get that $650 rebate. Now, on top of that, if you live in a certain track where you can qualify for additional enhanced rebates, that's part of the consultant can walk you through that there, help you there. And you'd be surprised. You'd have to go to a link and follow up on it. But, most of the times the forms that you fill out are almost self-certifying with all the programs. So it's something that, it's best, like you said, to call one of our energy consultants.
Right.
Get the ball rolling.
Gary, what would someone who's listening to this, you're in your home, and what might be some clues that something is awry, that maybe you ought to schedule an energy home audit, or maybe it is time for me to make some changes to things in the house. What are some subtle or not so subtle clues?
Well, the first thing you would probably look for is customers will tell you right off the bat, this room's always cold. That room's always hot. Those are kind of telltale signs. And, customers will go, my windows are leaky. Unfortunately, we don't address things like your windows and doors and stuff. But we won't replace them, but we can definitely find solutions for you to make them less drafty. Why is that room so cold? Why is that room so hot, depending on the season? So these assessments will help identify where the opportunities are.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. And for half price, I don't know why you wouldn't just pick up the phone right now and call them, because that's a good deal.
Even for $49, that's a great.
Oh no, even for $50, basically, you're going to find, you're going to still save a lot of money. I think it's all about saving money these days. I really do. And if your utility company is there for you and wants you to save money and is doing everything they can to help you, we need to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And you said a very key word, Andrea, is your utility company. These programs are programs that are statewide. So if you're not a New Jersey natural gas customer,
yes, good point.
Go to your utility and find out what type of programs they have. They all have them. They might be slightly different, and that's the way it is. But, if you're not in the New Jersey natural gas territory, don't feel like you can't take advantage of some of these programs.
And I also want to mention that even if your home is all electric, even the electric company, like Gary said, all the utilities have programs, because every utility wants to offer people a good reason to save money. So it doesn't matter whether you're gas or electric, there's programs out there for you to save money on your, if you upgrade.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you got to check with your utility and find out what's available to you. Whatever your utility is, and I know New Jersey Natural Gas does it, when we send you your bill, we also send you a little flyer in that bill. Don't throw that out. Read that. That's a very important document. That's where you can find out information, because most of the time someone will say, I never knew this program existed.
And that's because you threw out the flyer.
That's right.
We're talking to
Shame
you.
on
I
you.
know. I think most people are guilty. Oh, here's my bill. Everything else goes in recycling. I know. It's true.
No matter what bill you get, everybody's everybody's a guilty culprit with that there, but but it's important, whether your utility is this company, that company, whatever, see what that flyer has to offer. You'd probably be really surprised for sure.
Save money. That's really what the Save Green project is all
Absolutely.
about.
Absolutely. So we touched on a couple of the different programs. One other program we have is what we call the Home Performance with Energy Star. Another generous program, but what that looks at is the whole house. The other programs are specific to maybe I just need a water heater. I just need a HVAC system, so you're kind of doing like a buffet type thing. The
Yeah.
whole house approach, it's a very generous program. You can get up to $5,000 in rebates. You imagine that $5,000 that goes towards the cost of the work. But as it says, it's the whole house approach. Do you need an HVAC system? Do you need a hot water heater? Do you need insulation in your attic? Do you need ductwork seal up? We spoke about earlier, air seal up. These things will, I'm going to go on a limb here and say just about guarantee that you are going to save money. Absolutely. So that Home Performance with Energy Star, it's really for customers who really are educated. And when I say educated, they know that their house is a problem. It's leaky, the equipment is old. So rather than just pick away at little things, they jump right in and go for the whole house.
Address the whole, yeah. Oh, that's a good solution.
And that's another one that goes on to your gas bill. So it's 0% financing, all the programs we talk
Flyer,
about.
guys, read that flyer.
Yeah, 0% financing. You're not getting that anywhere nowadays. But yeah, those are some of the programs we have. One of the other programs, and I'm involved with, is the weatherization program. Okay, now that's for moderate income people. And once you qualify, and again, SaveGreenProject.com, applications, you're almost self-certifying that you qualify for the program. And you get up to $6,000 in energy saving measures. Now, that could include insulation,
Right.
air seal up, ductwork seal up. We talked about that. Leaky ductworks means leaky air. Leaky air means energy costs are going to go up. So,
Right.
Getting all those things properly addressed is a bonus. And when you qualify, there's absolutely no cost to the homeowner.
That really, there's just so many ways. Honestly, read that flyer.
Absolutely.
Or call that number on the screen.
Call that number and they'll find out what's best for you. So those are a lot of good programs we have, Andre. I mean, Jesus,
You do.
doing everything we can.
Now we have to do our part too, Gary. We do. Well,
Absolutely.
any final words you want to share with everyone? Again, the number's on the screen, the website's on the screen.
Yeah, I would say, do a little research. If you're that type of a person, if you want to just get quick answers, as Andre said, call that number. But by all means, take that step. It's painless to get some of these things, energy assessments, QHEX, doesn't mean you have to do anything. You're not obligated. You ultimately, as the homeowner, have to make the wise choice. And we're not there to push you and say, you better do this, you better do that. It's like, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, here's all the things I'm presenting to you. What would you like to do?
Well, at the end of the day, Save Green is about saving green, saving your money. And it's up to you as the homeowner. What do you want to do? But it really all starts with a phone call, and that's the easiest way to make it happen. So we definitely encourage you. Can't say it enough. Save money, read the pamphlet. So Gary Pavarnik from New Jersey Natural Gas, always a pleasure to have you. Thanks for being with me.
Absolutely.
And special thanks to my sponsor today, which was Garden Savings Federal Credit Union. Thanks for being our sponsor today. So remember, everyone out there, if it's important to you, it's important to us. I'm Andrea Tarr. We'll see you next time on Scan FYI. Bye, everyone. Bye, Gary.
Have a great day.